I've seen just over the years when you post on Facebook, I'll see things like, I would hope to have been at a certain place in my life, in my career, because I'm dope. Like, why don't more people see it? And so I just want to dig into that, because I know sometimes we have that expectation, either from our parents and just society, that at a certain part of our life, we have to be in a certain space. And especially with music and especially with artistry, we get that whole like, this is not a real job type of thing. Listen. Or if people's only idea of music and just being an artist is that you got to be on TV and be famous, you got to be traveling worldwide and stuff. But there's also a different way of doing it. Like, there's people that may not be famous per se, but they are winning Grammys. There's a lot of success that's not being shown on TV. And so I just want to know, like, just from your perspective, how do you feel in the space right now as a creative? I feel in this space and time today. I ain't even playing that. I feel in this space and time today, I have just now gotten accustomed to letting life show me what my new definition of success is. Because I very much, and you probably as well, we were reared in a millennial age where it's very unique, because we saw the old way, or the traditional way, if you will, of how people were defined as successful in the music. Like, if you got signed, if you followed this path, if you stayed on practicing and doing this and XYZ, then suddenly you would just eventually get scooped up and, be put onward to the path of doing this for a living. But unfortunately, and fortunately, I guess, because we also kind of had to morph into a bit of a DIY age, which necessarily I don't think was by choice. We just kind of didn't have any other routes, because we were doing the things that they told us. And by they, I mean like society and the industry. Like, we did all the things they told us to do, but for every single person, that wasn't necessarily what happened for them. So when that happens, we don't necessarily want to just stop. Like, we've built something where we've invested into something. I still know what it is that I was destined to do. I know I was born to be a creative. I know that music is my strongest outlet. So am I just gonna not do anything with it? No. So we we birthed all this DIY stuff, honestly, the millennials, right? Because we had to figure out another way to make something shake, right? And I think that my growing frustration over the years with that, I didn't know how to deal with it. And especially as I was getting further and further into my, almost 30, the age is coming, because along with the millennial American dream of music, there's also the general American dream in life, where we're all reared by society to think, okay, you're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to have a house, get married, blah, blah, blah. All these things by these certain ages and milestones. And that is just literally not how life worked for anything in our generation and any younger than that. We were the age that kind of was like that capstone, where that just doesn't work anymore, especially with the way that, the economy and world be worlding. So I personally think the American dream and the musical American dream go hand in hand, because we were all taught to follow a certain route, but nobody really knew what to do when we got to those checkpoints, and the success or the results that they told us, they promised we would have, weren't necessarily there. So I think now I'm just like, finally just like, well, I have different things that I can look at to measure my growth. Like, I may not be where young Britney or young B thought that she was going to be by 30 something. But think about all the other things that you have been able to do that young Barb didn't even think she was going to need to do or know how. I don't think young B thought about producing for herself. I don't think she thought about making every single thing. I'm glad she does, because she's a Virgo. She needs to have that creative control. I think though that it's all about being comfortable with uncomfortable. It's a continuing process, and me just trying to expand my emotional and mental flexibility to just see whatever this new path towards my new checkpoints or whatever that is looks like.